You're not gonna see True Virgil in there. I'm telling you that much. He's gonna try his fucking best to get the attention of fucking Jazz or someone.
We are live. And this thing is weird because it went auto live, but we are live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy MM2K and Cold Blood Sensei. What is up, everybody? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We are doing a special stream. We are having a countdown for 2 minutes, so we're going to mute the mic for the next 2 minutes as me and Cold Blood prepares, and we'll see you then to start the show. That's what happened. Yep. Hold on. Okay. And let's go. What's up, people? What's up? Yep. I can hear you. What's up, people? It's your boy MM2K. It's Cold Blood Sensei. We are live and we are here for a special podcast. This is the podcast where Xbox is going to let us know what its business intent is. Is there going to be an official Xbox 2.0 hard pivot or what? Cold Blood and I, along with you, will be watching to see what happens amidst all these rumors. What's true, what's not, what's just being held back. We're going to discuss all that. We're going to analyze all that. We're going to react to all of it today, because in the next 10 minutes or so, Xbox is going to release their Xbox podcast, which is going to break all this down. Again, it's your boy MM2K, and I'm here with Cold Blood. Cold Blood, are you excited for today, man?
Yes, I am excited about everything besides Xbox.
You ready to get your heart broken?
I got no stakes in this, bro. If they don't announce shit for PlayStation or something, I don't give a damn.
What you say? You ain't buying it anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of stuff online. We've been seeing, per the news yesterday, from the PlayStation quarterly report, we've seen some people try to, I think, push a narrative. Oh, PlayStation could potentially be doing the same thing as these rumors imply. That's a bunch of hogwash. I mean, we could talk a little bit about it today before the show, but we'll definitely follow up on our podcast tomorrow, the official flagship podcast, which is NRO Podcast. But what do you think about that, Cold Blood, that everyone's, trying to put in lockstep PlayStation and saying PlayStation could be doing the same thing as being rumored about Xbox.
Have a generation where you sell 20 million after 4 years? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. That's the same thing I thought. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. This is like just the last death curdle. And it could be over nothing. Like, we could be wrong, or our assessments could be wrong. It could have been pure fiction, and for some god-awful reason, Xbox decided to hold a business conference for pure fiction. I find that hard to believe, but anything's possible. And these people are going out swinging. Why would PlayStation cannibalize the entire use of its consoles when they are on pace to sell more consoles in 1 year than Xbox has in 4 years? Like, that's a possibility. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So why would they do that? They're successful in the console business. They're on pace of selling more consoles this year than any particular year during the PlayStation 4 generation. They're not putting their games, you know, in a third-party fashion on other console platforms completely eradicates the business model. And they actually make money off their consoles. It's not a loss. So I just think it's like the final death curdle for many people as they potentially see all of their argument chips that they could possibly use on Twitter die out. Sean L in the house. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you. Yeah, man, but what is it that you expect to hear today, Cold Blood? What do you think are some of the things that they might tell you today?
I mean, about the business, I don't know. Yeah. I know Hi-Fi Rush is gonna be probably a topic.
Yeah. I would agree.
Sea of Thieves pretty much already said what the plan is.
Yeah, let the cat out the bag.
You saw the tweet?
Yeah, I saw it.
About
Roses
the,
and
about the blue, red, and green.
Yep.
Don't know what the fuck they meant with white, but
I don't know. Maybe Stadia's coming back. I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, right.
They got a post-mortem Stadia version that they go. I don't know. Oh man. Yeah.
Keep dreaming about Stadia.
I don't know what they gonna do. I don't know but being that we've heard now, Starfield's been kind of wishy-washy. My opinion is, I think that everything's possibly on the table. I think this is Satya Nadella taking the bull by the horns, and he's looking at the Xbox crew and he's like, you're either on board or you're out of here. You know what I mean? And now this is them being on board. I think that, I think Hi-Fi Rush is coming. I think per the data mine information. And I think Hi-Fi Rush is enough for us to understand that this is the throes, the beginning of a major pivot for Xbox. I'm under the belief system that everything is on the table. I think what we may hear about today is definitively Hi-Fi Rush. I'm in the belief system that we're going to hear about Pentiment per Tom Warren. And then, like you said, because of that tweet from Rare, I think we're going to hear about Sea of Thieves. I don't think that we're going to hear something in the vein of, woe is me, Bird. Yeah, Xbox, we couldn't win consoles. I don't think we're going to hear that. I think we're going to hear them put a positive spin on them changing course and them treating, like they said, Sarah Bond had said in a offline meeting, that every screen is an Xbox. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to push that rhetoric. They're gonna say stuff like that, and they're gonna put a positive spin on it, and then they're gonna make the first of likely several announcements of games that are coming to PlayStation and Nintendo and so forth. And then this will just be the starter pistol for them. making their library accessible on, like you said, any screen. So it is what it is, folks. We got Mark Spencer in the house. Mark says, "Hey guys, half an hour to go." No, I think we just got 5 minutes, right? Yeah, it's 3 o'clock. Yeah, it's starting at 3 o'clock. I think we just got 5 minutes. Not Your Mother says rowboats are red, white is for PC Master Race. That could, well, it's already there, but maybe they're just underscoring what they're about to do. Let's do this. Let's go to this graphic right here because we're about to go live. We're just waiting for it to come out. Let me see. Let's go to the official Xbox. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like in 4 minutes. When did they send out that tweet? I can't. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern. So that's in 4 minutes. Not a half an hour from now, 4 minutes. Here goes the tweet right here. There it goes right there. It says, here goes the graphic with the tweet. It says official Xbox podcast, February 15th, 2024, 12 p.m. PT, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT. So that's like in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, we will see what it is that they have to say for the Xbox community. And I think they're just going to,
but where's the stream?
The stream is on, it's on Xbox. It's on the youtube.com/Xbox. We're right there.
You sure about that?
Yeah, because that's what they have on the graphic. So it's gonna actually pop up right here. So when you look at the graphic, it says, yeah, go to youtube.com/Xbox, wherever you listen to your podcast. So they might release the podcast on audio or something like that, too. But this is where the video format of the podcast is gonna drop. youtube.com/Xbox. That's what it has right there on the graphic. So we're just waiting for this is because you knew what I said. Doc Dark is, bro, you are late to the party. Z and I been reporting on the slides for last couple years, bro. But come to the commission reunion, my brother. We will wash you of your sins. Laugh out loud. Let's see here. All right, so let's see if it's available right now. I just imagine they're just going to post it. It'll pop up. It's not there yet. It'll pop up when they have the official link ready to go. Sean L says, I am here for all the bitching that will happen either way. This will be somewhat interesting. Mark Spencer said, yeah, it's 8. It is. Is it? Sorry, my bad. No, that's all right. It's okay. Ron Slusher says, keep it moving. Ain't nothing to see here. We will soon see, my brother. We will soon see.
Ron has to find another game he's gonna cap for now after Hyperhunt's going multiplayer.
Let's see here. All right, so
it's up.
All right, let's go. All right, y'all. Let's cut the music. Let's get the. Oh, it's up.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't see. Let me go to videos because I don't see it. Do you have a link? Because I don't see it. It could just be running slow over here on these servers. Come on. Go on Twitter.
Just go on their site to the official Xbox podcast.
Let's see. Back. Still don't see it. Hold on. Where the hell is the pod? Microsoft's, here it goes.
4 games. 4 games. Oof.
Videos. There it goes. Here goes the podcast. All right, let's go.
Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome. And we're going to talk about some
Where'd you
updates
see
at
that
Xbox.
At?
We want to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about Activision Blizzard now that they're part of our portfolio, how that might be an impact on Game Pass. And we want to talk about hardware too and how all of this fits into the strategy at Xbox. So where should we start, Phil?
Well, when we originally had planned for the show, starting back in December, I think we probably would have started with Activision Blizzard, maybe talked a little bit about the exclusivity with some of the news coming up, and then hardware. But we've had some unforeseen news that has come out. So let's just go and tackle the exclusivity question, because I know it's on the minds of a lot of people. We hear from the community, and that's an important input for us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles, just 4 games.
Just 4 games.
To our kind of fundamental exclusive strategy. We're making these decisions for some specific reasons. We make every decision really with the long-term health of Xbox in mind. And long-term health of Xbox means a growing platform, our games performing, building the best platform for creators, reaching as many players as we can. We're always looking to learn as a leadership team and to grow. And we think this is an interesting point in time for us to use what some of the other platforms have right now to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
I'm not going to name those games. The teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well, what was the criteria in how the team was thinking about selecting
they're saying 4 games, not Starfield.
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running a growing platform that is reaching more players, that our games are having as much success as possible.
It's not Starfield or Indiana Jones yet.
5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight, because if you look at the last 10 years and what the biggest games are today, it's a natural place. Whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile console and PC, you see big games landing on multiple platforms. And we want to be a great platform for creators that are trying to realize that potential. But now back to the specifics of the question on these 4 specific titles. We looked at games that are over a year old, so they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth. Franchises that we obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that they can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So 2 of them, kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say 2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that. But games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our studios, regardless of size. And as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage Xbox and we can grow our business using what other platforms have and to help us with that, we're going to do that. And that's really the story behind these 4 games. And last thing I'll say, looking forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. We think there's a good brand value for Xbox there. So 4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not. And we're going to learn.
So when you are thinking about the future and this concept of live service games that can benefit from bigger audiences, new audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came
pause it for, hold on 1 second.
It's an awesome show.
Yep.
Tell me where you're at right now.
I am at where he just said, I'm at 5 minutes and 44 seconds. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Where he said there's no promise.
A little bit further, wait. Okay.
I'm at 5 minutes and 44 seconds.
You ready to count down?
Yep. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Show where we showed great games that are coming to Xbox and PC and cloud, which really makes them accessible to hundreds of millions of people. So it's this kind of, we're really focused on a couple platforms and what's going to show up there. But our key of play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, when everybody plays, we all win. These have been part of our strategy for years and will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more players in more places, and how do we grow Xbox as part of that. Xbox is a hardware platform, Xbox is a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best creators.
And then knowing that, how do we think about our first-party games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what Phil just said, one thing I would add, as you were talking about growth, is just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years where it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And the games would sort of tuck in within the platform. Today, big games like a Roblox or a Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one platform. And that really has changed the way that we think about things. So in the midst of all that, I think we at First Party can come back to sort of some core principles. First, that all of our games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day 1. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So there's sort of starting points for us. As Phil mentioned, there are games today that you can play that only can be found on Xbox. And at the same time, we want to bring more of our games to more players. So we're going to continue to look at that. Kind of moving aside, though, from some of those and thinking more about what does it really mean for the player, to me, the 2 key things are cross-play and cross-save. Those things allow us to deliver on the promise of Xbox, which is play with your friends where they are, play on the devices you want, play the games you want. So that is really only possible at a practical level when you know that your saves and your player are going to be able to move across all those parts. So not all of our games today are necessarily built to take advantage of that. There still will be some games that don't. As we bring more teams into the Xbox family, there's some catch up to do as we get there. But that cross-play, cross-save is like so fundamental to what we're doing, and I think is something that we as first party get such a good benefit from being so close to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, like you said, all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th, which I'm super, super excited to share today. And it's all part of our commitment to make the Xbox experience and the games that we build as widely available as possible.
Today?
So now the 34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy.
It makes no sense. The game already released.
Amazing. Can we come back to the point, Phil, you mentioned at the top, this isn't really a change in strategy for us. Can you recap for me how it isn't?
Yeah, and I thought both Matt and Sarah did a really nice job of talking about what we're doing on Xbox, where we're going. If you take a platform feature like Xbox Play Anywhere, which has been a promise that we've made on our first party games, that you can buy our game once, you're going to get play across Xbox and Windows. I think we're the only platform that does this. That makes it possible for you not only to play with your friends wherever they are, but to know that you actually have multiple entitlements to the games. I think that's a technology I would love to see applied to more platforms. But it is this view that people are going to play Xbox in multiple places. Whether it's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, whether it's content, community, and cloud, whether it's when everybody plays, we all win. Like, we've had different taglines, different strategy, kind of words that we've used, but always with this view that Xbox is a platform for creators who want to reach the most players. Our investments in xCloud, our investments in franchises like Minecraft and now Call of Duty and other large franchises so that we learn how to build those. This has been a strategy that we've been on for, I'd say, a decade. It's not about one device. It's not about games in service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be. Because really, a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy creator community in gaming all up, is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting for, because that's the thing that will lead to the best long-term success and growth in this industry.
And my understanding, just from listening and learning from you three over the past few weeks, just understanding what's happening with Xbox, is that we see trends with player behavior where people are playing on multiple devices. That is the reality. And we have put some games out on multiple platforms before. So my understanding is that that's been good for players. How does that come back to the business with all of that in mind?
Yeah, as you said, we have shipped games on other platforms. In fact, realistically, if you look with the addition of Activision and Blizzard and ZeniMax, we're one of the largest game publishers on PlayStation. We're one of the largest publishers on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you put Minecraft into the equation as well. And now we're one of the largest publishers on mobile platforms as well. And that's not something that we want to back away from. We want to continue to be building great games that millions and millions of people can love, and that they can play those games where they want to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox.
Hold on, I'm going to bring that back a little bit. I'm sorry, I missed that. One of the
largest publishers on mobile platforms as well, and that's not something that we want to back away from. We want to continue to be building great games that millions and millions of people can love, and that they can play those games where they want to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox has to have. Us as leaders in this business, the system today, the system that all companies that we play video games from, is a world of you got to be growing your business. Growth in our Xbox business is critical to the long-term health of Xbox. Many people know I've been on Xbox for over 20 years, and I want to make sure Xbox is in the best position for the next 20 years. That means healthy player community, healthy creator community, and healthy business. So when we look at opportunities to allow more people to play, more people engage, more people to buy, more people to subscribe, it's all about putting Xbox in the best position. And our hardware is a critical component of that. The absolute best experience somebody has on Xbox is hardware that your team builds, and that people play on. But that's not going to be everybody. We fully accepted that we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
So I think a lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming, and in a lot of ways it was. There was some really amazing releases that I think we all enjoyed.
They're trying to walk a tight rope
behind the scenes that maybe indicated
not
how
blowing
we
up
wanted
the
to
core.
look
They
at
still
the future
need
of
them
Xbox and how we kind of keep
for
up
a
with
little
the
bit
industry.
longer.
Yeah, such a good question, and I think it's as people
But
who
I
care
don't
about the
understand
industry,
this.
which I assume
Why
people who are
is
watching this,
Call of Duty
it
not
was an amazing
mentioned
year.
as
Some
a
great
game going to
launches,
Game
some of
Pass?
the games that I think will stand the test of time and people will be talking about a decade from now. But it's
Not
an
a
industry
single
that didn't
word
really
was
grow.
lost on Call of Duty.
And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to make about building a sustainable business for ourselves, but in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a healthy industry, I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love. I want people who invest their careers in working here to feel like this is a place that they can be successful. And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really two choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I find new ways to monetize those players to get more money from the players that I have? Or do you think about how do I expand the business I have by finding new players and adding those to the base of players that already play? Our focus on Xbox for the last decade has really been on that latter point of how do we make sure Xbox is growing for our players, growing for our creators, so those people are finding success on our platform, which will grow the Xbox business and put Xbox in a position to be very strong for years and decades to come.
This is still finessing Xbox.
About these growing gaming communities, how they're incredibly large, and comparable on such a different level when we think about console audiences. Like you mentioned Roblox, you mentioned Fortnite. So how are we're obviously thinking about our responsibility, our hardware responsibility is supporting the growth of gaming communities. How has that actually shown up for the players? Are there other games we can speak to from our portfolio?
Well, as Phil mentioned, two of the biggest ones for us, Call of Duty and Minecraft, they are driven just from the bottom up by the communities of people that play those games, which is so great. I think about it for the player community, it comes down to where are the friends, where are the people you play with, and then equally important is where have you built up your library of games, right? Where have you invested? Where's that library? I think those two things probably are some of the biggest influences on where people choose to play and what devices they choose to play.
Yeah.
When we think about, on the other side, the developer side, just any game developer wants their game to find the biggest audience possible. That's just the nature of building a game. You want people to enjoy and participate in what you've made. And I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are the platform. We build hardware, we've got a first-party games group, and then we've got a system that ties that together, that brings together your friends, your progression, your achievements, all of that. And I think that's really what has contributed to the momentum behind some of these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at, just step back and you look at the history of the industry, we've moved from a place where it used to be that someone built and launched a game to accelerate hardware to actually the things we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about that across all of the investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like cross-play, cross-progression, the things that we're doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples about this is actually Palworld. Palworld was able to launch, they were a game preview, they launched in Game Pass, they also simultaneously launched in Steam. And through the combination of those things, Pocket Pair was able to have this outsized success, and it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch ever. And that's all because we give creators options on how they can launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free-to-play, we've got game preview. We have the consoles, we have our experience on PC, and they can access all of those things. And when we step back and we just look at the performance of our platform all up, we know it's working. We're at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling creators to actually reach new players beyond the console ecosystem. And that's why we're leaning into it and doing more, because we see all those signals.
So we're talking about the role that hardware plays for creators, for the games and those communities. What about the role that hardware plays for us as a business, for Xbox?
When we look at our hardware, it really is, and Phil said this earlier, it's where you get like the most flagship seminal experience of Xbox. And it also represents a developer target. Our developers can build the specs of our hardware, and we invest to make sure they know when they do that the games are going to run great on our hardware, but they're also going to be able to be accessed across any screen because of all the other investments we make. So we're giving them an easy way to access as many players as possible. And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before by nature, thousands of them by nature of those investments. And we got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap. And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
And then when we're talking about hardware too, there's these other considerations that are really important to our community, probably to each one of ourselves as well. When you talk about library, because I want to dig in on that a little bit more. You know, as we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stance around game preservation?
Yeah, you know, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced back compat coming to Xbox One. Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it. Slow reader, and just feeling the energy in the auditorium as we were saying that, and online. You know, one of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like, I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago, and it will still run. And we try to bring that same view to consoles. It's harder in console because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally, it's tighter, which makes compatibility, you end up doing these generational compatibilities that we've built. But I will say compatibility, the ability to not only play the games, but my saves are still there with our cloud save systems to try to keep the services up as long as we can so that people can play, is a tenet of what we are as Xbox. It's at our foundation. And when we look at future hardware generations and what we're gonna support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices, which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Can we go back to what Xbox stands for today? I think we've pretty much covered all of the elements, but if you could break it down for me.
You know, when you play on Xbox, what we're saying is you're playing on a platform where you know the biggest games in the world are always going to be. You're playing on a platform where you get to access Game Pass. And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass day one. And you're playing on a platform that's dedicated to you, like player-first features, cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, backwards compatibility, being able to play your games in your library anywhere you want.
Fucking blog post. I'm sorry.
Cloud gaming. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing.
The only part they should have focused on is what is coming to other platforms. That's it.
And I think most importantly, Xbox is a place where
this corporate talk right now, we heard it 1,000 times on this, but Xbox everywhere,
games more successful and creators more successful, so that they can invest more to bring even better experiences to you all of the time.
Yeah, just that investment in the studios is so, and we feel that as part of first party with the platform proximity. You know, it's kind of amazing now to look out.
I see what they're trying to do.
And just be reminded that we're now one of the biggest development organizations in the industry. What does that mean for players? it means that the biggest games
You
are going
meant
to
to PlayStation, right? They're going to continue to come to PlayStation.
2024, the year coming
Your
up.
biggest games.
We've got
Call of
more than
Duty
10
and
major releases
Diablo
coming up.
and all
Great
the stuff.
Hellblade 2. We've got Diablo expansion. We've got Avowed, Ara, the Indiana Jones game, and there's more in development, which I think we're going to be able to share more about at our June showcase coming up pretty soon.
Well, I guess I should get ready to work on that show. Well, thank you all for showing up on the podcast today, and we'll see the rest of you this June.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.
Damn it, I missed the part where she mentioned, I guess Game Pass has 34 million, which a lot of us were guessing 33 million, 34 million, or 33 million or over 30 million. Let me get the music back on. Let me get this ready, and so we can start going to our open mic. Yes, we are doing an open mic. If you want to be part of the open mic, here's what you want to do. It is concluded. Join our open mic, and it's via the Discord. What you're going to want to do is join, make sure you're part of the Discord, go to the general voice chat, and we'll drag you down here with Cold Blood and myself, and we'll give you a couple of minutes and we'll answer any questions or comments that you have. But I'll start with Cold Blood. Cold Blood, what did you think about all this?
I already told you. It's all corporate talk and 4 games.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Nah, that was trash. It did not do anything. You know when you do the deed with the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And you don't feel nothing afterwards. That's exactly what that was.
Oh man. Wow. Yeah, I think the general consensus that I'm seeing is that this is an opening to Pandora's box. Here's what I will say are the negatives about this in regards to an Xbox console. I will say what I think are the positives. I think the positives are they made a commitment. Here's where the only commitment that they made in relation to everything that was of concern is that games will continue to release day and date in Game Pass. Now, I can't remember how they quite phrased it. We got to break it down and slice it. If they said all games, because one of the more concrete rumors that I heard behind the scenes is that Call of Duty will not launch day and date in Game Pass. So I got to look and see how she worded it. But that is a positive if you are an Xbox console owner, because the way that they worded it is Game Pass is exclusive to owning the Xbox ecosystem or being part of the Xbox console. It's not going to be any other platform, and you're going to get day and date content there. That is an argument that I've been making, like against, to name names, Xbox curator who said, if I'm going to get gouged by PlayStation because Xbox games are going over there, I'm just going to get out of gaming. I'm like, hold on. I thought you loved Game Pass. Game Pass is still going to exclusively be on Xbox. So what's the issue? So that
the issue for them was the shit talking they can do now.
Exactly. They can't do the shit talking. And they still can't do the shit talking, which in the grand scheme of things as a gamer doesn't matter much, but you can't do the shit talking because they just let you know their schematic for the preliminary process. The preliminary process was we looked at games that were over a year old and we signed those contracts already. That's actually a little bit worse because I suspected it was only 2 games. I had suspected that it was Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush that definitely was going, that other games were on the table. That's what I suspected. But now that we know that they have 4 games already slated and signed for. I get that the criteria was a year old, but they don't have any plan. They didn't say no, Starfield is never coming, Indiana Jones isn't coming. They only gave you the criteria for the starter games. And as far as people that were online and saying, oh, the full slate is coming, the full slate is coming, they said we're not making any promises. As we told you before the show, this was just a wordy PR executive way of letting you know, yes, we are opening Pandora's box to us, making our platforms more accessible. They kept talking about it was important to have a platform for accessibility for devs. They made it sound like that it was more important to have the platform for devs and not necessarily for exclusive content. They specifically said exclusive games will be a smaller part of the game community. That's how they see things. We just saw something to where PlayStation today signed another exclusive deal with a third party for another game. Xbox is looking at the opposite. So yes, will there be content that will roll out to Xbox to be exclusive? Will it? Yeah, there will be. That day and date will be exclusive. Will it ever go to PlayStation? We don't know. That's the question. But it's on the table. Exactly what we said. This was not going to be an all revealing, oh, everything is coming. Like I said, I didn't think that they would announce Starfield today. Phil in his sly wording, his sly corporate wording said to those people that are saying the full slate, we're not making any promises. You can definitively say that Game Pass games Xbox games will continue to be day and date. You can definitively say that Game Pass is exclusive to the Xbox platform, but you can't definitively say, oh no, Starfield will remain exclusive. Indiana Jones isn't coming. You gotta be able to interpret Phil speak.
But Tom Warren just put out an interview with Phil Spencer.
Oh, okay. So Tom Warren has an interview with Phil Spencer. Let's see if we can catch it and we can go through that and react to that as well. And also, we're having an open mic. So please feel free to join our Discord.
This is the only time we do this. If nobody's coming here, I'm not gonna make any promises anymore.
So here we go. Let's put it up on the screen and let's live react to it. Microsoft teases ultra powerful next gen box and maybe a handheld. The Xbox maker is working on unique hardware and a big next gen technical leap. All right, so let's see what this ultra powerful box is. Microsoft is teasing the potential for unique Xbox hardware in the future and powerful next gen console. For 4 previously exclusive games are officially coming to PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch soon, and Microsoft wants to reassure fans that it's still very much invested in the future of its platform and hardware. At an official Xbox podcast today, Xbox President Sarah Bond teased that Microsoft will deliver the largest technical leap with the next generation box. We've got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. We're also invested in the next generation roadmap. What we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building. Now that's interesting. That wasn't a takeaway that I got from the show. That's a very interesting take that they still want to have based upon these words.
You know what it is?
What's that?
I can tell you what it is.
What do you think it is?
The damn streaming stick, which will be not xCloud, but actually a GeForce Now.
You think they're going to do some GeForce Now AI and machine learning with the 4K 120 and stuff like? Okay, all right.
Yep.
Well,
okay. But they're gonna mask it off.
Okay.
So it says xCloud.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
The most powerful way of getting Xbox titles without paying much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, they must be. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be GeForce Now. They might be doing something on their end. I've heard internally. Also, I think it's fair for me to. I think it's okay for me to say that I've heard internally. Well, no. Tim Dog had mentioned this publicly, that he had heard that they were going to switch server blades, that they were going to do stuff to the server racks and make some upgrades. So maybe, and Microsoft is in partnerships with NVIDIA on some AI machine learning stuff. I will also tell you this, that if you weren't aware, that Boosteroid, the up and coming cloud service that came out of nowhere because of the CMA trials and the FTC trials, they actually partner with NVIDIA. They're using a lot of the same technology that NVIDIA GeForce Now is using to power up GeForce Now Ultimate and so forth. So who's to say that Xbox isn't partnering with NVIDIA as well to do the same thing? It's also been rumored that NVIDIA is working with Tencent on licensing out something for the Tencent version of NVIDIA GeForce Now. That's been a rumor for the past couple of years. So GeForce Now, GFN could, or NVIDIA could be like, look, instead of just keeping this proprietarily to our own, we could distribute this out and license some of this technology out. They've already done that with Boosteroid, and they could be doing it with Microsoft. So Cold Blood could be onto something. It could be a wordy and a sly way of masking a stream box. Not necessarily a stream stick, but a stream box. Speaking to The Verge, Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer went a step further, team that the Xbox hardware teams are thinking about building different kinds of hardware. I'm very proud of the work that the hardware team is doing, not only for this year, but also in the future, says Spencer. We're really thinking about creating hardware that sells to gamers because of the unique aspects of the hardware. It's kind of an unleashing of the creative capability of our hardware team that I'm really excited about. Perhaps the unique hardware is an Xbox handheld. We see a lot of opportunity in the different types of devices, and we'll share specifics on the future hardware plans as soon as we're ready, says Microsoft in the Xbox blog post today. There have been persistent rumors of an Xbox handheld, and Spencer has been liking posts on X that mention the possibility of this hardware. I'm a big fan of handhelds, says Spencer. I'm a big fan, but nothing to announce. He does admit that there's still a lot of work to do on the Windows side for handheld gaming PCs. One of the weak points in the experience on a ROG or the Lenovo is Windows, says Spencer. How Windows works on controller input only on that kind of DPI on a smaller 8 or 7-inch screen. That's a real design point that our platform team is working with Windows to make sure that the experience is even better. Before the next generation and potentially even a handheld, it sounds like the leaked diskless Xbox Series X and new controller might still be a thing. We have a robust and innovative multi-year hardware roadmap, including more console and controller options for you this holiday, says Microsoft in the blog post. Xbox players will know that their games are built to maximize the latest features of our hardware and services. So that's it.
Dude, what next Xbox?
Yeah.
Can you at least sell all the Xboxes you put out there right now before you even think about putting another $500 box out there?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
bro. Come on, bro. Nah, at this point, they're scamming you out of your money.
Yeah.
Get this box. It's more powerful than the last one. Just a little bit. Get it.
Don't forget, y'all. Oh, go ahead.
No, give us the $500, please.
Yeah. join the Discord if you have comments, if you have something to say. If you want to comment on this, I'm just going to Twitter. I'm looking at reaction on Twitter.
I'm giving them 20 minutes. If nobody's coming after 20 minutes, that's over. We're not doing open mic.
Let me extend an offer to, hold on. Hey, Will, brother, would you like to join our open mic and share your thoughts. Okay, hold on. All right, I did that with the caps lock on. Yeah, so my brother Will Sink, who is a big Xbox supporter, puts down the following. And I think, and I totally agree with this sentiment. He says, so after watching the business, oh, no, let me go here. He says, so after watching the business event, the broader Xbox strategy is still to go multi-plat, but the 4 games are a starter kit. You can tell by them pushing Game Pass and other platform features as the big reason to stay on Xbox instead of first party stuff. Exactly. That's what I was saying beforehand, y'all. Like, you were not going to get the totality of everything. They're in the preliminary phase, but this is the starter pistol. Totally agree. Totally agree. Let me put that.
Spencer
totally
already said, don't rule out any game.
Yeah, he said no promises. Yeah, totally agree.
But what did everybody say on Twitter that they want? Clarity.
Yeah. And
there was absolutely no clarity in this.
Today was a starter pistol. I totally agree.
The only clarity that Phil had was 4 games.
Yeah, today was the starter pistol, and towards
everything else was fucking double talk as usual from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And of course, Sarah Bond and Matt Booty had to be there, I guess, because they are the fucking faces of these consoles and the publishers that they got now. But I really don't know why. Phil would have been enough to relay that information.
Well, I think is on Game Pass for Xbox. I said I totally agree. Only the starter pistol today was the starter pistol towards multiplat. Only clarity is on Game Pass for Xbox. Everything else, atypical doublespeak. Here's my thoughts. And I don't blame Xbox. Oh, shout out Anvil Wallace. What's going on, brother? You got to hit a brother up, man. What's going on with you, man? Good to see you. Cold Blood. It's fucking over, bro. Like, you done your PlayStation is on pace to outperform you in 1 year than you did in 4 years. PlayStation is at 54 million. You're at 22 million. PlayStation could easily surpass you for the entire year. And they can surpass you for the entire generation in 1 year. They could sell more consoles in 1 fiscal year than you did the entire generation. It's possible. It's over. Now is the time for clarity, man. You're losing. You're losing more than 2 to 1. It's like 2.5 to 1, bro. What are you doing? Just come out and be specific and clear and transparent. Stop playing these games. Just tell people, look, we're going in a different direction. The way we view Xbox as far as exclusivity is Xbox owners can be proud to know that we are still going to pursue innovative technologies to give you great performance, AI and machine learning, similar to what you see in GeForce Now, right? But you're still exclusively going to get stuff day and date in Game Pass. I think that was a winning pitch for salvaging those you're concerned about. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really care about Xbox and you really care about the games and it's not about Twitter for you, knowing that you can get those games day and date in Game Pass, bro, and then knowing that Xbox could subsidize, because Game Pass clearly is not reaching the numbers that people expected to reach. We saw the slides. They wanted, what, 100 million users in combination of console, Game Pass, and PC by 2027. That's not happening. It's rumored that they were looking at 50 or 60 million Game Pass for that trajectory. They were looking at 50 or 60 million Game Pass subscribers by now. Who was telling you that? I told you that 2 years ago. That success for them on Game Pass is how many people they had during the 360 generation. If they reach 80 million on Game Pass, then 80 million or more, they're okay. 60 million or more, they're comfortable. But that sweet spot was 80 million. They're not going to reach it. Or they're not going to reach it when they projected they were going to reach it, if they ever reach it. It's over. Time to go on to greener pastures and find other ways to keep this sustainable and to subsidize what you're not getting in Game Pass by putting games on other platforms. We get the business decision. And if I'm a Game Pass gamer, I'm cool with that because I'm still exclusively getting Game Pass activity day and day. Xbox, this was their time to show clarity, like how Nintendo did with the GameCube. All way back when they couldn't compete anymore and they bowed out, they were very clear. We can't compete here. We're going to do something else. We're going to try to do something more innovative. And they've seen, and they haven't.
This is just a trial. This is just a trial right now.
Yeah.
They're gonna see what Hi-Fi Rush is gonna do, what Pentiment is gonna do, what Sea of Thieves is gonna do, and I guess it's gonna be Grounded, the final game. If any of these sell better on PlayStation than on Xbox, bro, it's over. I'm telling you, because Satya is gonna look at it and say, "Yeah, we get more money from them motherfuckers than from our own motherfuckers." Like. Why the fuck do we even wait to put it there? That's what's gonna happen. So these fucking bots better pray. PlayStation people preach. I mean, they do what they preach. It's not buying those fucking games. Because if they do, oh my god, it's over. Because after that, yeah, you're gonna see Starfield. Yeah, you're gonna see all the bullshit they release coming over.
Yep.
But like I said, Halo, Forza, and Gears, they're not gonna touch those. I never expected them to touch those. Because they need something, bro. They need anything to stay on this fucking box.
Yeah, I think, and two, I would caution you, again, this is still in the throes and they haven't released any details. I would just heed caution to those thinking that Xbox is going to create, like Cold Blood alluded to, that Xbox is going to create another Xbox Series X2 or something like that. They're using words like unique and innovative and all that. They're using words like that because I think Cold Blood hit the nail right on the head. It's going to be a stream box. Like, you don't do shit like this, put your fucking exclusive content on other platforms, your critically acclaimed exclusive content at that, on other platforms within, after a year or within a year, unless you got to make up some type of financial gap. You got to close financial gaps, right? Like the fucking seats weren't even warm yet for the new people that came over from ABK and they got rid of 1,900 people. There were some serious financial gaps that need to be filled. And one of the biggest financial gaps is expensive hardware that they make that doesn't sell. I think Xbox is done with that. Now, will they make a handheld that they're going to try to do in an innovative way as an entry point for those that want to play Xbox and then maybe dock it and do it on the go? Fine. Or you can be fully invested in the cloud and play via streaming via a NVIDIA Shield Pro-esque type Xbox Stream Box. That's an innovative, unique way that still can give you a lot of power, quote unquote. The problem is that if the infrastructure in the West or in the United States in particular is still the way that it is, you're going to be hamstrung to the handheld, which may or may not be a bad thing. But this powerful, dedicated hardware, they're done with that. It's done, in my opinion. And because they have some serious financial gaps they need to fill, I would not hold my breath on. Don't let this double speak fool you. That's what upsets me about Xbox. It's not. I'm disappointed to see them bow out of the AAA genre defining space. I hate to see them bow out of it. But at least be honest, be transparent. I can respect you if you're transparent, like how I respected Nintendo. When they bowed out, I was upset, but I respected them. And look, they've gone on to greener pastures with the Switch and the Wii and all that other stuff. Fine, whatever. I can respect you if you're like, look, this is our vision. We are making a change. We're starting. This is phase 1 of that change. And, but we got some cool stuff coming. For you to sit, we're really not changing anything. The fact that you're putting critically acclaimed content that you told us was the purpose of you spending $8 billion for Bethesda, that is a critical change. Why do you keep doing this? And if y'all fall for this, like I see people out there, Steve, they didn't announce Starfield yet. Like, and if you're out there, this is why I said I don't feel bad for those people that keep getting fooled. I'm glad to see people like Will Sink that see what's going on. And me and him don't agree on all things Xbox. He is still a staunch Xbox supporter. But he's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Like, come on. The writing's on the wall. I want Xbox to be in this space, but they're not. It is what it is. I would respect Xbox more if they would just come out and be transparent. Go ahead.
I think they just weren't ready.
They're not ready.
Actual plans.
Yeah.
They just want to have these motherfuckers stop talking about that. And make the actual plans on the hush hush afterwards.
So this was just a Band-Aid.
They just bought themselves time.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
But in my opinion, if you're an Xbox fan, not a fanboy, but a fan,
yeah,
and you want to know what is going to happen to Xbox, you should not take this at all. You should be asking them to be clear about everything. About also where the fuck is Call of Duty? Why is Diablo coming?
Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Hold on, cool, brother. Hold on, Will Sink is going to join us. Cool, brother. Jump in Will Sink's jump in the general chat. General chat. Jump in general chat. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Maybe I can I pull him from over here? Jump in general chat. Will Sinks. There he goes. Let me see if I can pull him in this way. Let me do it. Oh, no, they ain't gonna let me do it. Okay. No, they ain't gonna let me do it. They jump in. We reply to him. Jump in general chat. I'll pull you down. Okay, we got Will Sinks, formerly of Xbox Uncut. This is one of the first group of people that acknowledge this platform, y'all. So we're going to be kind to Will, even though we may not agree. But I think that Will is like in a place of fool me once, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not falling for this. This is like the starter pistol of some things that are going on. And we're just going to listen to his take and, respond to it after he gives his thoughts. But we wanted to give Will a few moments to let us know what he thinks.
How do you hype up new hardware when everything you tell me is against me buying a fucking Xbox?
Yeah.
You tell me all the shit I was expecting from you.
Mm-hmm.
Starting with some games, going to PlayStation, and then also not promising anything about Starfield staying exclusive. Well, yeah, why the fuck would I care as a PlayStation player, or as a Nintendo player for that matter?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I care?
Yeah. Yep.
You said it yourself. We are looking at the industry right now, how it's going. So we are learning. We are learning. That's what Phil Spencer loves to say. We are learning. Well, you gotta learn now, motherfucker. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So with that said, we're just waiting on Will to come in here. I just don't think that there's a lot of servitude happening for the platform when you have people that are more interested in the perceptions on Twitter and how they can spend things on Twitter versus the obvious writings on the wall.
Wait, what did Tim Dog say? Actually,
I don't know. Let me see. Let's see here.
Oh, he's in
he's in
space.
space. Short but sweet space. And so we'll listen. We'll see what he has to say in the space later. But or actually, we can check out the space right now. Let's check it out. Let's hear what they're saying in the space. Let's live react to it. What they're saying in the space. We're gonna listen to it now. Copy link. Let's see here. I just got a message. It's a little bit weird to me, so I'm not sure I'm in the right one. Laugh out loud. Okay, Will is somewhere. I'm not. Yeah, you join. Hold on. He was there. I would say look for George when you get a chance. Look for voice chat category. Then
what does Timmy mean by it's a new learning experience?
What did he say? What? Hold on. All right, we're gonna listen to the chat.
Oh, the thing.
Listen.
I would have just gave it another year. If I was in that,
There's nothing new about it. Sega went through the same fucking thing back then.
We'll do it if
and Xbox doing it right now.
Hold on, I'm playing the space right now from Tim.
Oh, okay.
To not even.
It's kind of like that.
So
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like that meme of like the guy digging for diamonds and he gets to the end and he turns around and goes back. You know, when they showed up Indiana Jones, I felt like Xbox had like finally got there and like finally had that big game. And you know, is Wolfenstein coming? Is Doom coming? What else is coming? You know, it could be. They're promising 4 games a year while 4 big games a year while Sony's promising 2. And I really thought they were just getting there, and then they see that money from Activision and it's over.
Oh yeah. Hello.
You there? You can hear me?
Yeah, no, I get these phone calls. So, what were you saying? Your point was excellent, though. It was like they were right there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Tim. You have to probably let somebody else on. I got to get back to work.
All right, man. Oz Gene, hit me up.
Seems like they're having issues with.
I'm gonna talk. Let me just text this person. John, can you hear me?
So here's something from Tom Warren. He says, Xbox chief Phil Spencer doesn't rule out Starfield and Indiana Jones coming to PlayStation 5. I don't think we should, as an industry, ever rule out a game going any other platform. Full interview here. Come on,
I told you.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
I get phone calls. I gotta turn the
Man, get this fucking snake out of Xbox, please.
Like I said,
how you doing, John?
Bring someone in who's all about business. If you're gonna do it, bring someone in that is all about the fucking business. On destroying the competition, no matter what. If you do that, you might have still a chance.
Sabo, can you hear me?
This is, of course.
Tim, I can hear you very well.
Will sell well, of course. They'll bring more to the platform.
I'm doing great. Oh my God, that was a fun podcast, man.
So you're happy? You're a happy man, right?
All I was concerned about was Game Pass, and I got it. Like Matt Booty said, Game Pass is exclusive, boys. You point gonna be stuck with PlayStation Plus.
Oh, he is okay. All right, so we're gonna go to Will Sync. We'll check out this. We'll check out the spaces later, but let's bring in our good friend Will Sync, get his thoughts, and here let's drag him down. All right. Hey, Will, can you hear me, brother? Hello, Will. Uh-oh. Hello, Will. Make sure, yep, he should. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, there he goes. Okay. Hey, brother, how you doing, man? Can you hear me? We can hear you. Hello. We heard you for a second. Oh, we heard him for a brief second. We'll give him a moment. But if you were listening to that space, you heard somebody say that they're happy that game. Oh, he was in there. Hold on. Let me see if I can hear him in general. Hold on. Hey, Will, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, I don't know what's going on because I can't hear him even in general. And so for general, you don't need anything. I'll wait for him to message me when he's ready. Yeah, Xbox. The person was happy because Game Pass was still exclusive to Xbox, and I think that's a fair. If that's all you care about is the cheap gaming that you get via Game Pass, there you go. You're good to go. You know what I mean? Then you're
it's not exclusive to Xbox.
Well, I mean, it's exclusive to.
It's on every fucking device out there, besides a PlayStation.
Console exclusive to Xbox. Because if I game solely on the console, then, now
why the fuck do I need an Xbox for Game Pass?
Well, the only other place I can.
1,000 other ways to get Game Pass games.
Yeah, you get on the TV, but I gotta buy a specific TV.
No, no. This doesn't give me a reason to buy an Xbox, bro.
It doesn't give you or I a reason to buy Xbox. But if I just want cheap gaming on the go, cheap gaming, easy accessible gaming. I'm not necessarily looking for the biggest AAA games. I go buy me an Xbox Series S. I go subscribe to Game Pass. I got something. It's not the way I game. It's not the way you game. But I'm not going to knock anybody for doing it that way. Now, your $300 investment, if that's the way that you game, hasn't been thrown away. So I can understand that. If Game Pass was going to be on PlayStation, then yeah, you could have said, well, shit, I could have used that $300 towards getting a PlayStation, getting Game Pass, and getting access to the PlayStation games. So I get it. Even to me, it's not worth getting an Xbox for Game Pass. There's people out there that do it. Fine, I get you. But I don't think the concern was ever Game Pass coming to PlayStation. I don't think that ever was the threat. The threat was what games were coming to PlayStation, the frequency, and what was happening to Game Pass. Like, it was Game Pass still going to enact day and date? And we got answers to day and date. That's it.
The only positive thing I got from this whole shebang is that they're gonna optimize Windows more for handheld PCs.
Yeah, for their next for handheld. Yeah.
That's the only positive I heard from all of this bullshit.
The only clarity that we got.
Right,
go ahead.
No, right now, the Rock Ally is unoptimized as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not. It's just not a gaming machine. It's just a fucking Windows machine that runs on underpowered hardware.
Yeah. There's a clip out here from King's Blood. I want to check this out. Shout out to King's Blood. He said he got a clip that people are missing the context to, that we should all listen to. So hold on, let me copy the link. Let me go up here with it. We'll see what's being said here.
Can you send me in the DMs?
Yep, sure can. Hold on one second. Sorry, just give me a sec. Okay. All right. So here it goes. Let's go to the web version of the video, and and let's hear.
Actually, we planned to do the analysis tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say, looking forward,
because right now I actually plan that people come in here and talk to us about it.
Last thing I'll say,
yeah. Well,
last thing I'll say.
Well,
that was the plan, but I guess not.
Yeah,
we're gonna do the ASRock podcast today.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say, looking forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. We think there's a good brand value for Xbox there. So last thing I'll say, looking forward,
because it is that part.
I think can be found on Xbox, and at the same time, we want to bring more of our games to more players. So we're going to continue to look at that. Kind of moving aside, though, from some of those and thinking more about what does it really mean for the player, can be found on Xbox, and at the same time.
Yeah, the actual transparent nature of their strategy was chopped up and seasoned through all this PR talk. It's atypical Xbox, and I don't know how people are perceiving this as status quo. How? Let's see here. Let's continue to see what's going on Twitter. Thanks to Sony and Tencent investments to help the developer. Y'all better get. Let me see. Honestly, the biggest thing Xbox should be doing is getting together with Gabe and getting Game Pass to Steam. It says in the future, more Xbox games will come to PlayStation. Nintendo, they're going to let them exhaust their potential on Xbox and then start bringing them over. Says one person. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on. This is Xbox to use other platforms to grow those games after they've had their time on the platform to generate interest in their own platform. Man, that strategy sounds mad familiar. Xbox Phil Spencer says he doesn't think they should ever rule out a game going to another platform. I mean, this is it right here. This is the post right here. I think that says everything that you need to see. You can try to salvage whatever debate mechanism on Twitter all you want. This is from Shinobi. I think this says it all. Xbox Phil Spencer says that he doesn't think they should ever rule out a game going to another platform when asked about Starfield and Indiana Jones exclusivity, but that doesn't mean that everything else is coming. We're focused on these 4 games and learning from the experience. I mean, come on, man. That's corpo talk. That's all that is. That's C-suite conversation to you to say, look, if I ain't got to make things worse for myself with you, I'm only going to give you little driblets of the truth right now. And they did not take the opportunity to be transparent in nature. I understand. Look, Cold Blood, I understand them not telling you everything that they're contemplating because it's still in flight. And I always complain with Phil that he talks about things in reality that are in flight. Now, for those that don't understand what in flight are, that's when you're just having the preliminary conversations about. Nothing's etched in stone. You're pursuing maybe getting something done, but it's not a guarantee. That's where the VR and a lot of the shit that he says happens because he talks about these things that are in flight that are not guaranteed, right? I think even when it comes to the hardware aspects of it, none of it is transparent. So I don't fault him about not definitively talking about things that are in flight. They're contemplating them. I think the writing's on the wall. I think gamers just have to put on their thinking cap. But when you come out here and try to, in so many words, make it sound like this other stuff isn't coming, and thank goodness for Tom Warren. I can't believe I'm saying that. I put all those same words in the same sentence. Thank goodness for Tom Warren. But when you get outside of your scripted podcast and you ask the question, are these games coming? That's when you get more transparency. Not full transparency, but more transparency. I don't think we should ever rule out a game coming to any other platform. Come on, man. It's the starter pistol to more stuff to happen. I guess Will couldn't make it. I guess he was having technical difficulties. He says going to update, be right back. Okay. All right. Well, even at that, we wanted to get Will on, but I don't know because I know it's late where you're at, Cold Blood.
No, I got time.
Okay. Let me see. I'm just checking Twitter. I guess what we can do is we can listen I'm gonna check Twitter a little bit more. Phil Spencer then confirmed Starfield and Indiana Jones could go to PlayStation after all. The weird wording and non-committal sucks. Yeah, this was their time. If you're not going to address something, don't address it. I think that was very disingenuous for them to come out and say, we just want to be honest. We don't want to say that the floodgates have been open. Just say, look, we have not made any commitments to any other games at this time other to say, this and that, we got 4 games coming. And well, what about I will not name the 4 games that are signed for. Well, what about Starfield and Indiana Jones? All I'm going to say for those is that those are not part of the 4 games. But here's our strategy. We feel like that in the case of these 4 games, we're going to try something. We're going to experiment with something. We're going to see how it works. And if these 4 games can help subsidize the things that we're doing with Game Pass, I think that's going to be better for gamers in the long run, including gamers that game solely on Xbox. Because look, here's the thing. Here's the committal that I can make. Xbox is exclusive. I mean, Game Pass is exclusive to Xbox, and Game Pass will still be releasing games day and date onto the service. So when you buy an Xbox, you know for sure that you're going to get a premier benefit that other console holders don't have, because we feel when it comes to Xbox games, playing those games on an Xbox is the best way to engage with those games. I just made that up from the top of my fucking head. And even though that wasn't a full committal to everything, that was way better and less disingenuous than the bullshit he said in that podcast. For him to go to Tom Warren and then completely shit on what he said in the podcast. Y'all, this is why I don't feel sorry for y'all anymore, man. I don't. I'm glad some of you guys are waking up, but the creamy knuckled clan out here. This is the only, this is a great, and this is from an Xbox hardcore enthusiast, but I think they did the best job out of anybody, letting you know the only thing that they've been transparent on, the only clarity that was provided. Cold Blood, I'm going to give you the link to this in the chat as well. If it let me, oh, hold on. How come it didn't give you King Bloods? Oh, what is wrong with my computer today? I'm going to give you this too, so you can see it from J Duke. I'm putting it up on the screen. Let's pause the music. Let's play this. Here we go. This is the only committal that you got.
I think we at First Party can come back to sort of some core principles. First, that all of our games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day one. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox.
There you go. That's it. That's the only committal that you got. All right. So if that was your concern, like Game Pass day and date.
Matt Booty said it.
Yeah.
We want to bring more games to more people.
Yes.
I mean, our games.
Yes.
To more people. Fuck me if this isn't clear as day. What the fuck the plan is? I don't know what is.
Yeah, I don't understand. Hold on. Who? These people are insane. Let's see here. The Xbox podcast was full on marketing fluff, but key takeaways. 4 Xbox games going up. Don't believe it will end with the 4. Okay, at least he's showing some common sense. Xbox Game Pass day and date here to stay, and ABK games will be on Xbox Game Pass. Suck at all you people saying that it was unsustainable and sucking each other off. It is unsustainable. It's only at 34 million. We already thought it was at 33 million. What are you talking about? Xbox is going to share more. This is fucking, I can't with these people. Yeah, thank you. Here goes another one that I'm gonna put up here because it makes sense. No more clarity. You know what? It's getting to the point now, Cold Blood. I don't even want to talk about Xbox no more. because it feels like it's a waste of brain cells. Shout out to David Whitaker of LV1 Gaming. He says, make this make sense. During the podcast, Phil says Starfield and Indiana Jones was not coming to other platforms. Minutes later, articles are published saying he said he would not rule it out. Which one is it? But here's the problem, Dave. Why did you think that Phil said that they were not coming to other platforms? He just said that the 4 games they committed to now did not include Indiana Jones and Starfield. That's the context of what he said. This is the duality of the doublespeak that you deal with Phil and why he takes advantage of y'all. I think it was very clear what he said. I think Will Sinks is back in here. Let me try to drag him in. He is back. Let's see if we can get him to. Hey, Will. Hey, good. Hey, what's going on, good brother? We got you on here. Oh, you came at a critical time. How are you doing, my good friend? Glad to see you here.
I'm good, man.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what you heard from the podcast, and does it ease all, some, none of the concerns that you've had since these rumors dropped?
Well, first off, thanks for having me, Mouse. Appreciate it. What's up, Go Blood? Good to talk to you. Nah, actually, this doesn't really ease my thoughts on that sort of stuff. Just because it just seems like they're kind of just like, I think we talked about it on Twitter. It feels like they're stalling. Like they're just kind of like using these 4 games as almost like a pilot to see what sells, what doesn't. Ultimately, it seems like their goal is basically just still to go third party in a way. I'm just not sure if maybe Phil kind of maybe stemmed the tide a little bit here. They gave him a little bit of like breathing room so they can maybe keep going with that strategy they had. But ultimately, I think they still want to do that, the whole third party thing.
Yeah.
Because the way Matt was talking and Sarah and but it seemed like they were basically saying they wanted to expand the platform and all that stuff that kind of like gives off like little red flags in your head. Yeah. It's like, huh. Yeah.
I saw your comment, and again, I don't think nobody has any ill will. Me and you have done some great content together, brother, where we would like, in my days where I was more positive about Xbox, I tried to like sit down with smart gamers like yourself and others that have been around for a while and simply ask the question like, what can Xbox do to get back some of that glory that they had as far as their titles across the board, particularly at the top, and do some of the more innovative stuff that they wanted to do. And we sat there and tried to problem solve and say, you know what, this is the most sensible route. And then we kind of like had different things, like a seesaw going back and forth as far as what they said and what they would do. So that's why I thought it was really important, even though me and you look at the chain of events differently. I think the prowess and the experience that you have, it's important for those that still may have faith in this vision in the long run to like kind of hear where there may be more stuff behind the veil. Not so you guys can be where I'm at. No, I'm a game for myself. I just want Xbox gamers to understand what's going on. So in order for you to get the things that you want, you know what you're being told and what you're not being told. So I said all that to say this and ask you this, Will. In order to try to influence the best way that you can, to say, look, Phil, you guys got to be more transparent, or you guys need to, like you said, go to the pre-ABK mind state. What is it did you think that other Xbox enthusiasts can do to try to help influence that?
So you mean like what they can do to maybe get to the place where Phil wanted to go before the ABK stuff?
Yeah, because it sounds like to both of us that what Phil's doing is like putting a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches. Like you can't see all the blood gushing right now. But I think Xbox gamers are going to find out soon, oh, holy crap, no, we need to be taken to the hospital. Like this thing needs to be, like what can be done by the Xbox gamer to say to Phil, if anything, look, we're not buying what you told us. These are still our concerns, and here's why you need to address them.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know, because I don't know if they're gonna fall back on Twitter and just be like, hey, I'm not gonna like be on this thing. I mean, or X, because I don't know if they're gonna be that much more communicative after this event. So it's hard to say. I would just say possibly just keep tweeting him. Maybe he'll see it. Maybe the crew will see it. Besides that, the best you can do is maybe just, I don't know, maybe spend less money. I don't know, it's hard to say at this point because I don't know what route he's going to take after this, as far as like just communicating with the fans. They were saying, we'll see you at E3, so that's kind of almost indicating that they're not really going to do so much outreach after today. I mean, maybe I'll be wrong. Hard to say. I guess if there's like one bit of hope about this whole thing for Xbox fans is just that hope that maybe what they're planning to do, like pre-ABK, actually kind of works out. With the Hellblade stuff, Valve, they had a lot of momentum going, at least for this year. I don't know if that's going to pan out. Hopefully it does, and maybe that hopefully prevents some of the strategies from like going full out, like how we heard the rumors of Starfield and Indiana Jones. So maybe that doesn't bear out if the strategy works out okay. But besides that, I think people should just hold on. Maybe hope PlayStation also goes somewhat this way. I mean, they kind of are with the PC, but it's not the full 3 platforms. It's not like it's because what people kind of don't seem to know is that there's still different strategies. Like PlayStation is just doing PC, mobile, but they're not going full in like the multi-platform, like all 3 consoles. So that's very different. Xbox is like multi-layered, so it's different. Like they want to do like PlayStation and Switch. So it depends on what Microsoft like. I guess it's like more of a holding pattern, like you said. So it depends on what they really want to do after these 4 games. And I'm kind of curious what they are. I mean, I think I know what they are. I think it's like Sea of Thieves. From what we're seeing, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush. That seems to be the 4 titles. So yeah, we'll see how those go. I mean, I don't know if maybe people actively hoping they're not gonna sell well, but I don't know what results those will have for the Xbox as well, because maybe they're like, oh well, so that's not working, so maybe we have to do something else. Maybe I have to put the bigger games on there, so that could backfire too if you're campaigning against it. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a really tough situation there.
I'm just hopeful that just for the sake of those that are concerned about it, like I was saying in an earlier podcast, there's a group of gamers, like cloud gamers, you know what I mean, that are full in lock and step with what's happening with Xbox right now. As far as what they're doing, they don't believe in a box. They believe in the in-screen strategy, and I'm not upset with anybody that does. I'm just a different type of gamer. There are just old school gamers like me that want to see the platform exclusivity because they know that there's an incentive behind that. I gotta sell this expensive ass box, so I gotta make some banger ass games. It kind of works in attrition. I don't think that those gamers were served anything today. I think the new Xbox gamers, as I said, the ones that don't care about any, multi-platform or any screen, they have nothing to worry about. It's just that the other gamers do, and I think that they do have to speak with their wallets, like you said. And I do think that, they've clearly been paying attention to Twitter. I think what needs to happen is they say, Phil, we're not buying this shit. Like you said during your scripted podcast, you tried to make it sound like that Starfield and Indiana Jones were not on the table. But thank goodness for Tom Warren. I can't believe I'm saying that, but thank goodness for Tom Warren because he asked the question and you say, I don't think we should, as an industry, ever roll out any game going to any other platform. We're focused on these 4 games and learning from the experience. You would never hear that from Nintendo. You would never hear that from PlayStation. So, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, they're in a unique position that's not comparable to the other two, just because they're in a much weaker area.
Yeah.
So, you know what's interesting? After the PlayStation leak came out, I mean the what do you call it? The hack.
Yeah.
I was always wondering like if it's this kind of, I don't want to say bad, but like this kind of concerning for PlayStation with regards to like profitability with Spider-Man and all that, the Marvel stuff and the AAA development. Like how is like Microsoft doing with this? And it seems to be bearing out. Like it seems to be like they're also kind of struggling there. And considering the industry stuff that's we've been seeing the past couple of days, it's kind of a big question mark of where the industry is going to go, because I don't know if you can grow with the multi-platform strategy, but I don't think that's enough. I mean, you have to be like really reach out with like what they're doing with mobile streaming. So they have to get their cloud tech really up to par, like with, you know, because I actually felt bad when I know you're a big Stadia guy. I know we kind of ripped you a little bit, but I still felt bad that you lost the platform. Yeah, I mean, I know you were trying to get me on that. I mean, but I still felt bad that you lost that platform, you know, like because you were really like invested in it. And it's kind of a somewhat overlapping similarity there between Xbox and like what Stadia, like what happened with Stadia. I mean, it's not like quite that dire, but so I just hope it doesn't get to that point. And hopefully Xbox just gets their cloud stuff up to par, because I think that's going to be key for them, especially when they have a lot of the server farm. Like actually they have like the Series X still as like the main like thing powering their cloud services. So they still have to get that. Like if they want to get to the point where they want to make an app that's like similar to Netflix, where you can just stream your games at high fidelity. Similar to what the GeForce thing you was telling me about before. That's like the ideal scenario for basically all the console manufacturers, actually. Even though local is still like the best way to do it, but they definitely want to get to that point where you want to have the best service with minimal hardware necessity. And but I still don't think that's going to be the primary way people should game. It might be like a good alternative. Maybe it'll be the primary way, but I don't know if that far ahead how technology will serve that particular space. So I'm not too sure. That's kind of I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse, you know, because you're still deep in it, and I know they want to grow, similar to PlayStation. So I don't know. We'll see how these strategies bear out.
Let me do this. I want to do this for you, Will. I'm not trying to be a salesperson, but I'm gonna send you a link. I want you to check out NVIDIA GeForce Now. After all this, I want you. Oh, hold on. What the heck? Why is it playing? Hold on. Wait. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
I want you. Okay, was playing something in the background.
I got a question.
What's up, Will?
Is Xbox the console? Is it dead?
No, I don't think so. It really depends, I think, on how hard they're going to drive their first party and how they handle Game Pass from here on outwards. If they still load it up with good like third party and the first party like really ramps up, they still have a good chance to at least kind of grow their console share. But I think that's almost like a question you have to ask for all hardware manufacturers, because there's like we just recently learned that they're all sort of trying to grow beyond the consoles, even PlayStation. So I don't know.
Well,
for
PlayStation
Xbox,
did that already with Horizon Zero Dawn.
You mean the PC stuff?
Yes, the whole PC stuff started way before all this talk about we're going everywhere. So that's not what I meant with Xbox as a console. Is that I meant literally. Is there a reason to buy one?
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, if you're wanting to be full in on like the Game Pass stuff, that's an option for you. I mean, I think console is still the best way to use Game Pass. I mean, their PC environment is not that great. It's very variable, and it's not. I mean, it could work for you. Maybe not other PCs are as great as like the way, and it's they're still having good. I mean, progress there, but They also don't get every game that the console gets, so they don't have every advantage as well. I mean, so it depends. The library is also kind of different. They don't like merged yet. They're not quite merged, so you still have stuff that's getting console releases that's not on PC and vice versa. You know.
Yeah. Can you give me a recent example of that?
So like Disgaea 3, I think it's or Plus. I think Disgaea 3 or Disgaea 4 Plus. That's not on console. That's on PC. Game Pass. I mean Game Pass. Well, it was on Game Pass, but it's not on console. So that's one of the games that. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Wait. So you're saying a game came on PC Game Pass, but not on Xbox?
Yes, that happened a lot last year as well, and the past couple of years, where they'll have PC Game Pass games or have its own little stream of games, and console doesn't. And then, but most console games usually first party, they'll go to PC. So it depends on how they approach it, really. But okay, so get back to your question about the console. I mean, it really depends on what you want. If you're a PlayStation owner and you're like, why should I get an Xbox? I mean, the games are still, as for now, still console exclusive. I mean, you can still get them at Xbox. You can use the Game Pass for that. You can use the backwards compatibility program is still pretty good. There's some issues happening, like delistings and remasters that kind of almost negate that to a point, but it's still quite a good program that you can still play, like, you know, stuff like the Dragon Age 1 and 2, and you can't play that on PlayStation. You can play a whole bunch of other games that are not on there. So I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for.
I'm looking for next gen titles.
I mean, sure, you'll get that too. I mean, Hellblade's coming. You got Avowed. Starfield's there. That's not coming there yet. Indiana Jones. I mean, sure, you can play that on PC, but again, it depends how good you like your PC experience. If you like it, that's cool. You know, that's not gonna change for you. So, but if you want to get a console, I mean, console does have its own advantages. Like I said, it does have ease, like, you know, the ease of use, has the BC stuff, has the you don't have to worry about, like, you know, stuff like draining resources from your PC because it's already there. So, you know, stuff that comes with the territory with PC and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to try to convince you to get off.
Can't the gamer just say, hey, I'm just going to wait for the games to come to PlayStation, no matter if they're announced or not?
I mean, sure, you can, but that's not a really guarantee that it's going to. I mean, we're still kind of in the time frame where we're not sure exactly where they're going to go with all their titles. So, I mean, I don't think it's a bad investment to get Xbox. I mean, I think. What's interesting is when Phil said that we lost the war and the people are kind of attached to their libraries, which is true. But at the same time, I think Game Pass is a decent solution to that, because you don't have to invest necessarily in getting a whole new library. You can just like try the games out there. If you want to buy it on PlayStation, even better. You know, you could just pick what you want to get and then just play the first party. So I don't think you really lose out there. And there's also I mean, I have basic PS5 as well, and it's not out of the realm of to have dual libraries too. You know, I've double dipped in certain games. You know, so sometimes just to see what the DualSense has to offer, or see how better it is graphically, and that's kind of an exception to the rule. But I don't think that's really a huge barrier, to be honest, for me.
Yeah, I think to the point that you guys are expressing, I'm in the middle. Today, can you find some positives for the average gamer to say, yeah, you know what, I might get an Xbox, who may not be the wiser to all this, but I think once this becomes more routine, that hey, Xbox's full slate is on the table, it is going to cannibalize potential sales, because if you're not a Game Pass gamer, which when you look at the numbers, okay, there's 34 million Game Pass subscribers between two platforms. That's between the Xbox One and the Xbox Series. I think it's fair to say that the majority of Xbox One people are still there. They're going to start converting over in 2024. So on either console, half of the gamer base doesn't have Game Pass. So that's a lot of people who may say, you know what, it coming still day and date to Game Pass doesn't matter to me. I'd rather now have a console where I can still play my Xbox games that I like and maybe even prefer, and still get access to the Nintendo games or the PlayStation games that tantalize me. I think that's the bigger threat out of all this. So yeah, you're gonna cannibalize sales in the long run because people do make a choice, and when they see that they can get Xbox games and probably get Nintendo Switch games and or PlayStation games by getting another console, that's going to affect them negatively. There's no way around it. But if that's your strategy, that's your strategy. I think the problem still is not being transparent. Nintendo had to be transparent when they canceled the GameCube because, like we said, they weren't making it. They had to change, and it worked out better for them. They were able to be transparent, bow out, go all in, do all their marketing and everything and R&D on what they were going to do for the future, and now they're better for it. I think by Xbox dragging its feet and letting people know what it wants to do, it's just holding them back to trying a more successful strategy. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's tough, man, because they're they're in a tough spot. They're like almost like a holding pattern. Like they have to see what works out for them. I think they still have to absolutely maintain some sort of distance between like their third-party strategy and their exclusive strategy. So they have to maintain some sort of edge against their competitors, because otherwise you're just gonna deep six your brand. Even now, that's this all this stuff going on is going to erode like excitement for the brand, and I don't think that's going to stop, even with how much shiny stuff to put in your face, like all these cool games. I mean, maybe they'll have enough content to be able to do both, but I don't know. That's hard to say because their cadence is still very inconsistent. This year looks better, but they're already starting off kind of on the wrong foot with like less stuff you to play. Like you guys were saying, well, like, you know, you play Grand Blue Fantasy already. You can play Helldivers. Final Fantasy's coming soon, and on Xbox you have cool stuff. You got Game Pass and stuff, but that's not really the biggest driver as compared to like exclusives and like third-party deals. Those are still pretty big. But I do, yeah, like I said, I do think they have to maintain some level of exclusivity. I don't think time this is great, but it's kind of like a secondary maybe strategy. But they have to do something to keep, you know, their console owners and their actually the whole platform important and relevant, so that people want to continue playing there. So that's as far as as far as I know, you know.
Oh, let me ask you one last question, Will, and thank you so much for your thoughts and your insight. And I think it's very key for Xbox gamers to hear your perspective on it, not just hear us just kick Phil in the teeth every day.
That's very great. I know. That's awesome that Xbox guy would come in here.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Look, I know you guys are more pro like PlayStation and more critical. That's fine. I don't really mind that. I'm more. I have both consoles, so that's not like I have no choice to play like other stuff, you know. So, and I play PlayStation a lot too. I play a lot of JRPGs and stuff like that. So I'm not like closed off to that. But like the way I use it, sorry to interrupt, Moss, and thank you.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the way I'm a bit unusual. The way I have things set up is for the Xbox, I use it for first party and multi-platform games. For my PS5, I use it from first party Japanese games that don't come to Xbox. And you know, if it's like indie that skips Xbox for whatever reason, I'll be like, okay, so I'll just pick it up on PlayStation. The problem with that is Xbox loses out on that sale, and that's money that could have gone to their ecosystem. So that's kind of what's frustrating to me, especially with stuff like Japanese titles and stuff like that. So I still maintain a unique usage out of both console platforms. Even though I may spend more time on Xbox, that's just preferential stuff. That's just like I have my library there. I have like a lot of friends I met on there, which is cool. So that's just like my case in particular.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it. I want to get your thoughts on this though, because with your expertise, and a lot of people may not know you were part of a very prominent, one of the most, on audio, you guys killed it. You guys were very prominent figures in the Xbox community. Xbox Uncut.
Yes, that was like a while back, yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it. I mean, you guys were the first Xbox podcast that I ever listened to. I used to listen to a podcast called Orange Lounge Radio, and I still listen to them. But at the advent of the PlayStation 4, I did think that the coverage was a little unfair. Because we were arguing, what were we arguing over? 180p, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, there's just 1080p versus 900p. And I thought that because of the whole DRM thing, people were being too tough. So I was looking for an Xbox podcast to where, they were making a little bit more feasible sense and not just going with the fray. And I came across you guys, and the rest is history. But I do want to get your ideas on it. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, sorry. No. It was a good podcast. It was really fun. We're kind of all desperate now. We're doing different things.
Yeah.
They continued with another podcast with like the tabletop gaming and regular gaming. Dustin and Vern and stuff.
Oh, well,
and
good,
I appreciate it. Thanks for the compliments, man. It was a good time being there. Steph is also. You think you're familiar with Steph?
Yeah.
He's with Z now.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff with Z. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love Steph. Steph is the dude. I had a great time collaborating with you and Scrampugs back in the day. It was really fun. Especially, I know you and Dirt aren't on good terms, but it was still fun to have all you guys together. Snow Bunny, I'm still in good contact with her. We're still really cool.
Yeah,
and I'm really glad to still have keep in touch with you, and also was still cool. So that's really happy that it worked out this way, so yeah.
For the record, and again, you can only go by what you heard. I don't have any issues with Dirt. I'm trying to get Sean. Me and Sean were supposed to do a martial arts podcast a long time ago. Yeah. This is this probably better than I do. This is a weird space, and I get to where that's why I cherish friendships with people like you, and I can always get you, and me and you can go back and forth on Twitter. It's not taken personally, and the next day you can come on the show and we can class beers and go about our business. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
There are some people that they take this, that's the box that you like, that's the box that I like. They take that, excuse my French, that shit too personally. Like Cold Blood just gave me grief earlier. I was doing the link that I sent you. You could watch it. I'm sitting there streaming on NVIDIA GeForce Now, trying to earn the code that they gave me, and he's over here dogging the shit out of it. Like, this piece of shit, get you a PlayStation, right? But I let it. But we're me and Cold Blood are the best of friends. We talk like every freaking day, and at some point in time, I hope those guys in that space, not all of them, but some of those guys in that space, understand the importance of, look, we're not going to take this personally, so we're not going to let it affect the business that we do or how we trade off or how we try to uplift each other. It doesn't matter. It's like, I look at Colin Moriarty. I was just thinking about this earlier because the aforementioned Snow Bunny reached out to me and was like, hey, look, why don't we do like a reunion podcast? And I said, well, you got to reach out to those guys. I'm all for it, but you got to see if they want to do it after this news or whatever. I look at Colin Moriarty with all the shit that he talks, and then you got Lord Cognito that'll talk his shit, and those guys are all cool. They have picnics and all others. I don't get that aspect of it, Will. Maybe those guys will get past it. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But, I just wanted to get on the record. I don't have any issues with anybody.
Yeah. I think last gen kind of made people draw lines, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And they kind of just set up some barriers for themselves that they don't want to kind of go through that again. I mean, I still understand to a degree, but I still like to keep a good relationship with most people if they're like, cordial.
Exactly.
And I'm really glad that you and Cold Blood are cool with each other. And you guys, set up a whole network and stuff. Not to, Do not say, PST network, whatever. But it's cool that you guys network together and you guys are on PlayStation. And you guys are like always streaming. I checked out your stream, which was pretty fun. Your Helldiver stream. I know we talked a little shop there. I know we disagree on some stuff, but but it's still, it was cool to see you guys, hang out, and that's totally cool. I love that sort of stuff. Yeah. And even though we do disagree and stuff, but that's totally fine. It's not personal.
It's not taking this personal
gaming,
I don't want to attack anybody personally. I just think that some people may, for other personal reasons, they may put their all into this and they take things personally. And it's great to have individuals like you that don't take this stuff personally. Like, I love Steph. Steph gave me the most shit about Stadia. Cold Blood gave me all the people. I'm in a DM with some of your favorite podcasters, Will. You wouldn't believe, because a lot of us are friends behind the scenes. There are some beefs, but really most of us were friends. And dude, you can imagine from sun up to sundown how much shit they gave me about Google Stadia. I was like swinging on my own, and we're still the best of friends. Buy each other games and do all type to help each other out. I just don't. The only message that I can have, and I think we can symbolize, the three of us, even if you don't agree, you don't have to hate each other. This is just video games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, one last question though, Will.
I'm not hating on nobody. I'm just laughing at them.
You just you're just snickering at people. Yeah. I don't get why people take it personally. We get passionate, but there's no need to take it personally. My last question for you. Again, so we had Phil go on the podcast and kind of say in so many words that Indiana Jones and Starfield are not coming to PlayStation, which you and I could view that as it's not coming to PlayStation now. But then he goes on this interview with Tom Warren. I don't know if you could see it on this. I don't know if you're watching the stream, but Tom Warren asked him about, what about Starfield and Indiana Jones? And he says, well, we can't rule out any games. Mm-hmm. Is that type of mixed messaging the thing that ultimately hurts Xbox, or do you think it's something else?
It does hurt them, at least for the core fan base. I think that's too nebulous. I think it would be nice to have concrete strategy, but I think there's just too much in the air. I mean, too much up in the air with regards to what's going on with the division and Microsoft. It seems quite contentious in certain ways, like as far as strategies go. Because I've read, I've listened to all the podcasts talk about the division between the Xbox execs and Microsoft. I mean, that could very well be true. I think the biggest issue really is just trying to get Xbox to a place where the fans will be satisfied with what they're doing as far as like first party and their platform health, and just trying to get more third party on board so they can have a bigger ecosystem, so people can not feel like they're missing out on stuff from like other platforms have. Especially like, we talked about the JRPGs and indie games that just flat out skip because they feel like they're not going to get enough ROI on Xbox, or if they're not sure what's going, like what if the platform is going to be great, which I was fearing as well. I was fearing that all this stuff just going to create a lot of doubt within the third party area, and it'll get worse. Hopefully not. But yeah, the message isn't quite clear, which isn't great. I don't think that's going to help them very much, and I think they just basically have to keep doubling down on what they're doing, and hopefully get their platform to a spot where they're at least, I don't want to say competitive, but at a good spot where the fans are satisfied and the platform is also growing, but just because they have more things to offer,
Yeah. Well, thank you, Will. Really appreciate it, brother. We got to do more of this. Thank you for coming through.
Thanks, Moss. Thanks, Cold Blood. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It was awesome talking to you guys.
And when you
really
get
fun.
a chance,
come back next time, bro.
Come back next time we have these open mics or whatever, and check out the Discord while you're in here. You'll be surprised to find out that actually the majority of the people that are in this Discord actually like Xbox as much as you do, if not more. We're just the loudmouths in this Discord because we're the main ones doing the show right now. But the whole Geeks movement is all about bringing gamers of all ilk together to play, discuss, and just enjoy gaming outside of the mucky places on Twitter. So definitely check out that's why when you got in and they asked you, what is it that you like to play? As we continue to flesh this thing out, it's actually going to cater to your specific likes. So you'll see that.
Yeah, I noticed that when I came in. I thought it was kind of interesting. That was pretty cool. I like the way you guys have like a little what's that, like a little gauge of see what people are into and stuff like that. So I put PlayStation and Xbox, and some cloud. Because I do some xCloud stuff just to try out stuff.
You do? Okay, cool. And bro, check out that link I sent you. Banishers, New Eden.
Yes.
120 frames per second. 4K via NVIDIA GeForce Now. I'm working on getting you a code. As soon as my partners at GeForce Now can get you a code, I'm gonna get you a code so you can see the wonderful tasty. And trust me, you won't turn back. So then that's all right. Stadia died, so GFA can fly. So I'm okay.
Hey man, maybe that's the way it has to go. Exactly. Also, I would recommend. There's a demo out now. I think on PlayStation and Xbox is Outcast. Have you seen that?
Yeah. You pointed me to that. And I'm gonna play that Saturday. So yeah, thank you for that. You didn't realize that, but I saw you tweeting about that, and I said, "Oh shit, let me download that." Yeah, I downloaded that on PlayStation, so I'm gonna try that this weekend.
Yeah, look, it's pretty like the fidelity's kind of it's not smooth because it's still kind of early, I guess. There might be like a few builds behind, but it's a really cool AA. Like it kind of fills in the niche with that Uncharted and Just Cause. It has a bit of both, and kind of a bit of like sci-fi, like Halo. So it's a pretty damn cool looking game. So I would definitely recommend you guys to check that game out. And yeah, Banishers looks awesome as well. These double games are what kind of interesting me now. Like Lost Records also come from Dotnod. That looks really interesting. Kind of like a Stranger Things mixed with like It. So yeah, I think the AA space is actually kind of very interesting now.
Yep, it sure is. Yeah, with Helldivers and I mean, I get you. Whatever you want to chalk Grand Blue Fantasy and all, and like you said, all this other stuff that's coming out is very interesting to see. But yeah, thanks for that recommendation. I'm checking that out, and I'm doing my first look this Saturday. So thank you for that, brother.
Oh, absolutely. I'll check it out for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Will. Appreciate it, good brother. Thank you for joining. We got to do this again, man.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
All right. Have a good one, brother.
Good luck with you guys. Yeah, you too. Good luck with the podcast, and I'll keep following you guys, and best luck. Hopefully, more growth, and for sure, we will do it again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take it easy.
Yep, that is our good friend Will Sink, formerly of Xbox Uncut. Great podcast. Again, they really helped me out. I remember when we first started Scram Punks, Cold Blood, and one of the Dustin, he said, sounds like some Scram Punks sound like some fucking cereal. Like, where did you get that name from? And people actually started watching the show after they promoted it. You know what I mean? So cool stuff. Yeah, I see you dropped something for me in the chat. I'm gonna put this up here on the screen. It looks like, Cold Blood, that starting tomorrow, it's gonna be the same status quo, that you have the zealot community looking at this and saying, "Oh, we still can argue on Twitter." Oh, like there is no more competition. I want to put this on the screen. Whoops. Phil Spencer wants Sony and Nintendo games on Xbox, but says he doesn't expect it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that says it all. Yeah. Again, if you are the new 2.0 Xbox gamer, I reference to the cloud gaming community who sees what Xbox is doing, they're like, hell yeah, this makes sense to us. We've been looking past the box. We're okay with you being on any screen. We're okay with because we favor the multitude of games, and we're not worried about you spending X amount of money to create and compete in the AAA genre defining space. That is not what drives us. If you're part of that ilk, then yes, what you heard today was okay, because who cares, right? But if you're the gamer like me, but you're still under the belief system that, hey, they are going to still fight in that space, and they're still going to try to be influential in that space. You heard it from Will. You didn't just hear it from us. Now, is he totally where me and Cold Blood are at? No, because he's more favorable towards the Xbox brand. But even he could see this is the starter pistol to Xbox walking out of that space, publishing more. I think when they talk about the innovative, next iteration of the Xbox, it's going to be an AI machine learning stream box like the NVIDIA Pro, which can give you 4K 120. That's powerful, right? I think Cold Blood hit that nail right on the head. But how is that going to serve you, the box gamer, who don't want to stream, who wants to own a license? Well, you'll still be able to own a license, just you're not gonna, who still wants to deal in native media. Maybe because you feel like that your internet infrastructure isn't up to par. Some people have that fear and don't realize the advancements that cloud gaming has made, and don't even realize that your internet would be just fine. Some of you legitimately do not have internet that is good enough to play this stuff. So you're going to be, for lack of a better term, hamstrung to the handheld. The Xbox Series X, the all-powerful hardware, I don't think that's coming anymore. If you're putting your games, your critically acclaimed games that you just told us a little bit over a year ago were the reason why you bought Bethesda for exclusive content to Game Pass, and a little bit after a year, you're already putting them elsewhere, there are serious financial issues that are involved and that you have to fix. And you don't fix those financial issues by still selling hardware that cannot compete, that is at a cost. Because PlayStation is the complete antithesis of that. They create hardware that dominates, that they sell at a profit now. Maybe the first year, maybe the first two, maybe even in some instances the first three. They sell it at a loss, but they sell so much and have so much software attached to it, it's all worth it. Xbox is different. They never sell their hardware at a profit, and they're not selling enough of it to make it worth it. To make it even worse, the paywall, the free-to-pay paywall that they used to have for the on-live service, they had to get rid of that. Our good friend Randolph Thor told you a few years ago, that paywall helped subsidize the losses in the hardware. Now that they had to get rid of that, now they're on pace of doing worse than they did last generation. Something has to give. So if you can't see the writings on the wall, if you still want to fight this imaginary battle, do so at your own detriment. That's where I blame the consumer. Where I blame Xbox is Xbox could have added the clarity that they needed to add and say, look, we are pursuant to a new strategy. Did they have to name every single game they were considering? No. But let's not be disingenuous about it. Very disingenuous about it and got caught in the same day. But people got to make money. People got to get clicks. And people got to get ad revenue, and you're going to be primed for that. Cold Blood, before we get out of here, brother, because I know it's late for you and I got to get ready. Oh shoot, yeah, my wife's on her way home. You have any final thoughts before we get out of here, brother?
No, not really.
No. Okay. All right. Let's get out of here. Thank y'all very much for joining us for this special broadcast. We will be here tomorrow. I'm going to talk to Cold Blood, figure out the time tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow for our flagship podcast, NRO podcast, where we'll talk about this. We'll talk about PlayStation, and we'll talk about other stuff tomorrow. With that said, appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all so much. Till next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.